You all know how important video is to selling real estate these days and to agent profile. Stay tuned and learn some important tips. Okay, welcome back everybody. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Sue Moses, former TV and radio personality, can I say, Sue? Personality, who now specialises in video for real estate, and how important that is we know. So Sue's incredibly passionate about video. Let's find out why.
I'm passionate about video because it's such an accessible tool, put it that way. Mm-hmm. So once upon a time, if you wanted to harness the power of video, and video is just awesome for connecting with an audience, because you can pick up all the non-verbal cues and the body language and see people's eyes tell whether they're being genuine or not. So it is a very, very powerful tool for building relationships. But once upon a time, if you wanted to use video, you would have to spend thousands, if not tens of thousands of dollars to produce a video, and then up to hundreds of thousands of dollars more to broadcast that video. Whereas these days, with news feeds, social media platforms and smartphones, you can become your own broadcast network. So yeah, that's why.
Okay, so Sue, we're talking predominantly about video in conjunction with social media, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my question is this: if I'm a new agent in an area and I'm wanting to improve my profile against established competition, or perhaps I'm an established agent and I've been, doing quite well over the years and I haven't really embraced the new opportunities that are out there. What is your advice to these types of agents as to how they can utilise video and social media to improve their business?
Okay, so video, the power of video for a real estate agent is in its ability to keep you connected with past clients and get in front of future clients. We all are familiar with the time frames when it comes to trading, upgrading or downsizing. It's somewhere between 5 and 10 years on average. And the average person, the average homeowner, isn't, keeping up to date with records and what the place down the road 2 streets over sold for. So the best way of keeping in front of people these days is not using the letterbox but using video, because we are all on our phones, and when we're on our phones, it's usually in a news feed, whether it's Instagram or Facebook or what have you. Now, for the average person who is only selling their home, making moves perhaps every 5 to 10 years, they're not up to date with who's selling in the neighbourhood and who the most dominant, most successful agent is. But what they are aware of is who is the most dominant agent in their news feed. Because that's where we spend our time these days, is on our phones in social media news feeds. So if they're seeing your face or your listings and your promotion, whether it's of yourself or of your property, then you therefore by default become the most dominant agent in the postcode. It's a thing called the parasocial effect, and it's a phenomenon that was first researched back in the 50s. And basically what it is the ability for humans to connect with another human just through media. And that's the power of video, really. So what I say to a new agent or an established agent who's trying to get a bit of an edge is get on video, preferably live because the algorithm prefers it, and do it daily, do it on a daily basis, and try and make the content not look like a real estate video. It's just such a great way of being able to demonstrate your connections in the neighbourhood, your understanding of the local area, your commitment to the local area, and also, of course, your professional expertise for no investment, really.
Okay, that's great, Sue. So you're suggesting, and I'm sure it's true, that an agent can embed themselves in the mind of future clients without the client really realising that that is occurring, and without them Googling, I need a real estate agent or something like that. So this is subliminal in a way, but they become the recognisable go-to person for that area. So when the client eventually does need an agent and they think, go home to their partner and say, who are we going to ring, darling? They think, oh, what about that, for some reason, that one up, such and such. I've seen them around all the time. Yeah, okay, this is important. Thanks, Sue. Okay, now, I've seen some great videos and I've seen some shockers, and you're a video coach. Tell us the things we should absolutely avoid.
Okay, let's start with the most powerful aspect of video, what makes it work. It's such a brilliant tool, and that is eye contact. It's the ability for another human being to look into your eyes and connect with you and pick up on your, once again, non-verbal communication and figure out whether you're fair dinkum or not. So the one thing that I see agents do a bit of, which just, and it's not just agents but anybody, and that's do videos with their sunglasses on, because it's either a bright day and they've got sensitive eyes, or they think they look really sharp in their sunglasses. It's a no-no, it's off-putting, and it's absolutely negating the power of video. So don't wear sunglasses. And then the other big one is talking to the audience, to your viewer, as if you're in a sales meeting. Don't use lingo. And yeah, just don't use industry lingo.
Like
Talk to
statistics and things.
Yeah, you know, days on market and you know, contracts downloaded and parties through, and you've got to personalize it and humanize it. So it's, you know, we had 43 people come through 16 Stewart Street today, and they were a mix of downsizers and some young families who were looking for their starter home outside of apartment living. It sounds so much nicer than, oh, we had 20 groups through. It also sounds more impressive. So yeah, it's using the language that you would use to explain something at a barbecue.
Okay, that's great, Sue. So two things we must not do is sunglasses and use statistical boring information on videos. That's great.
Lingo.
Okay, so yeah, the wrong lingo. Thank you for that. Okay, so they're the no-nos. Tell us about the things that, maybe some of the videos that you've seen and you really thought were great.
Okay.
What did they do?
What makes video work in news feeds is you've got to think about entertainment. People are in the news feed to pass time and to be entertained. That's why platforms like TikTok and Reels on Instagram are so popular, because it's just these random slice of life moments of normal human beings. So what I encourage people to do is to marry your professionalism with some entertainment and or something beautiful. But yeah, so think entertainment and think visually first and foremost. And I've got two examples that I'd like to draw on here. One is like an average suburban home, and the other one was a very high-end property. And the suburban home one was fabulous. It was a home, you know, brick and tile home from the 70s or 80s, nothing special, at the end of a very family-friendly cul-de-sac. And what the agent did is he had collected the children, all the local children from that street, and had them playing at the end of the cul-de-sac with their basketballs and scooters and bikes and what have you. And then he scooted in, dressed perfectly as an agent, and started talking about the home right behind, like this street known to locals, you know, da 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 da. It was just gorgeous, because as I was scrolling through the news feed, I stopped on this because there was movement, there was colour, there was smiling faces, and it sparked curiosity. It was like, what's going on here? And then seeing this guy scooter in on his suit, all happy and not wearing sunglasses, it was fabulous. Even though I wasn't in the market for looking for a home, because I'm just in my news feed, I watched this video, and that's the sort of thing that if that was my area, I would have been remembering that guy. And it would have been, mate, when I get round to selling, I'm definitely talking to this bloke.
I love that story. Look, that agent's keeping it real, aren't they? And they're actually not talking about the family friendly. They're demonstrating the family friendly environment. People can see it, people can feel it. What's the other one?
Well, the other one was a re-edit of an existing video that I got called in to consult on. So it was a magnificent home with $10 million expectations. And so they had lots of beautiful footage, drone interiors, exteriors, all sorts. It was wonderful. But it was put together very much in the style that you see on the real estate portals like Homely and realestate.com and domain.com, or on websites. It wasn't working in news feeds because it looked like a real estate video. And these people, these agents, had ascertained that their ideal client was probably going to be an expat. So it's how do we attract the attention of a passive expat overseas? And that's the wonder of social media marketing, because you can very specifically target that type of audience for a few $100s. So it's like, okay, so how can we make this video work in newsfeed? So we went back in over the existing footage and just changed it around so that it sparked curiosity, so it didn't look like a real estate video. So it's a case of looking at your footage and figuring out what the most captivating piece of footage is and using that at the start of the video. So it then looks like it's maybe the teaser to a new James Bond movie, or a clip from some celebrity's, holiday hideaway in Tahiti, just cheating it. So we started it with this fabulous drone footage coming up off the cliff face with the private beach at the bottom, and then coming up over the cantilevered swimming pool. It was just spectacular.
So not everyone's going to be a James Bond, unfortunately. But we are finding out some fabulous tips on how to economically promote properties and agent profiles. I'm going to ask Sue one last question. What's your best tip, Sue?
Okay, best tip. It would have to be do whatever you can to make it not look like a real estate video.
Okay.
Don't make it look like a real estate video. People are not in their news feeds to buy a home. They're there to be entertained and to have a little bit of escapism.
Okay.
So have some fun with it, get creative, and make sure it doesn't look like a real estate video to start with.
Okay, so that's great. This is important information to be able to market yourself and properties economically via social media. Sue, and to make another point too, this is not something you can do once and expect results. For those of you who have been in the industry a while, as I have, we used to do letterbox drops before this. You don't put one letter in one letterbox and then go back to the office and expect that person to call you. It's an ongoing thing, and so is video. You've got to get into their conscious awareness. Isn't that right, Sue?
Absolutely. Repetition, layering.
Yeah, layering, that's exactly right. So, and you won't be perfect straight up. Just make a start. It gets easier as you go along. And more comfortable. So you'll get better at it. Don't give yourself a hard time if it's not perfect. Just keep going, because you've always got tomorrow. Sue, now you're doing a course, aren't you?
Yeah, I have what I call a crash course. So it takes about 40 minutes, 45 minutes to watch the videos in it, and it just runs through how it works, why it works, and how real estate agents specifically can optimize their returns in the time they spend making video. And there's also in it, there's a list of 101 topics for real estate videos, because that's something else that I encounter a bit, is agents saying they don't know what to talk about. So, yeah. Okay, thanks for asking.
Okay, that's great. It's been wonderful having you with us today, Sue. Thank you very much for coming in, and all the very best.
Thank you to you too.